Hello and welcome back to the night shift. Woo! I am going to be playing Dishonored. This is the category I've ran the most. I think it should be pretty simple. It has changed a bit over the last couple of years, and I will have a lot to explain and no time to do it, since we will be using a mod for the game that speeds up cutscenes to 10 times speed that our awesome community has made. And yeah, I will be talking quickly and a lot, and the host will have to cut me off whenever he feels it's necessary. And I'm ready to go in 3, 2, 1, go! So right at the start here, I'm going to do an elevator. Don't worry about how it works, but if I climb that corner like that, I can go very high up and not skip that cutscene. That's fine actually, since this is RTA, so we're just going to talk to Emily here. So there you saw the cutscene speed up to 10 times speed. That's just how that is going to be. We're not going to be talking about any lore during this because of that. So elevators allow us to climb buildings very, very quickly, get a lot of height, and we're going to use that almost immediately here, right after we've given a note to Empress Jessamine.
It's a fair wind that brings you home to me.
Mother told me that your trip
What
was
news
important.
have you brought?
She's been
So now we're going to go on top of a very tall invisible wall. This is to skip a tutorial fight. The way we skip this fight is by losing it immediately by taking a ton of damage. So I'm just gonna run along this fence here. All the movement I'm doing right now is totally unnecessary, but it's something to do while we wait for the fight to start, isn't it? Let's see, let me line myself up. So, in the last couple of years, our awesome community has managed to put together a couple of new skips. Most of them include frame rate binds. As you already saw once, I have lowered my frame rate to do an extra far jump. And frame rate binds are, you might think that the game is lagging at times, or the stream is lagging at times. It's totally my fault. It's me just deciding to go to 5 or 2.5 frames per second. And we're going to show off a couple of those new skips here. Let's see. We're coming into the second level, and this one I'm going to do a frame rate trick right at the top here after like 20 seconds. I'm going to start by doing another one of those elevators where I can just climb through the roof here and walk along the walls until I can leave the map without having to fight or interact with any other people. Just get out of here. First, hopefully clip through this wall. Not gonna explain how that works, mostly because I don't know. Then gonna elevator up here, run along the walls as I said, and then right at the end here it's gonna look like the stream is lagging, but it's not, it's just me lagging the game. So then that lets me jump slightly further, which means I have to swim for a short amount of time, and swimming is super slow, so we don't want to do that more, unless we have to. Going into the sewers here, you're gonna see our first real or I guess it was just pretty clearly a broken out of bounds, but you're gonna see a very broken out of bounds. I'm going to run over and do an elevator in this corner, which is going to bring me out, and the rest of this level is going to look exactly as broken. This game has gotten to the point where it really, speedrunning it, looks almost nothing like how the casual game looks, which it's still a very cool game. It just feels real strange that this is the same game that I played casually and was stealthing around with and thinking about the cool story in 2012. But now it has just become whatever this is. Like, it's just so different. It's got a very own soul in how you play it, and it's got a lot of cool tricks and a lot of developments happening. See there, I just got stuck because I went too low frame rate. Yeah. Let's see, this is a trick I'm also not going to explain how it works because I don't know, but if we climb that in a certain way, then we get extra height, and that's pretty cool. We're almost going to go back inbounds, or we're going to go back inbounds very soon, and I do hear a couple of dings coming in, so we will soon have time for a donation, but I'm first going to do a wicked vault. That's wicked. Then I'm going to climb over here and go back inbounds. Climb a trash can, jump over it. There are something called vaults here that you can do where you run and jump right next to an item, and that gives you a tiny speed boost, which saves like 1/10 of a second every time. But over the course of the run, that's a lot of time because you can do them almost everywhere, and that's pretty rad. So I do that on the trash can. Anyway, we're gonna watch a boat ride here. We have time for some donations.
Should probably unmute myself. We have a $50 donation from Huff saying, "Shout out to Graveyard Shift Gang. Hell yeah, that's us." And they redeemed the ESA Summer 2025 event shirt. Thank you so much for the donation. We also have $25 from Toasty saying, "The hair looks great, Lurven."
Thank you, Toasty. I'm no longer bald. Things have changed, both for me and for this game.
So basically, we have changed hairstyles now.
Right, yeah.
Nice. I mean, it has to go somewhere, right?
Yeah, I think it's only fair. So yeah, we're in the hub area. There's a hackathon poster on the wall. I kind of forgot that I can change textures for this, so I just downloaded one that I had already made like a while ago, and so we're going with hackathon here. I'm about to go to sleep, and this is a totally broken cutscene where I'm just going to hold down 2 buttons and I'm going to immediately warp through a roof above me for, again, reasons I don't really understand. But then I'm going to end up here and can continue saving about 10 seconds over not holding down those 2 buttons. So now we have our blink ability. This is what makes this game really, really cool. And it allows us to, well, it's the short-range teleport. It uses mana. You have to manage your mana very well in order to get very good times in this game. Mana you pick up in these blue vials that you've already seen me pick up like 3 of already. And a lot of the routing that we do in this game just comes down to figuring out, how many blinks can I get away with using in a section while still then picking up more mana to do even more blinks, to pick up more mana to do even more blinks. That's the button I want to press right now. So this is really the blink tutorial. After this, we're now going to go into the first real mission. Everything so far has been tutorials. That's a cat. Catgasm in the chat. Gonna pick up some items here. These are DLC items. These wouldn't be here on a normal playthrough in 2012, but we have them today, and the rules just allow us to use them, so might as well. So I picked up a lot of money in that room, and that's what I'm going to use to buy all of these items. And I'm going to upgrade so I have double jump and increase my blink range with a little charm. Then, if you've seen runs of this before, you might be confused as to why I'm stopping to talk to Callista here. That is for a new trick that you're going to see at the end of this mission called Blind Weepers. I submitted an incentive for this to do Blind Weepers while blindfolded, and the event ended up saying no because they thought it was too memey, because we lose vision for that section anyway, so they didn't want me to do it blindfolded. And then I realized this game is hardware dependent, or this trick is hardware dependent, and I don't really know if I can do it properly, so I'm very thankful they said no. So we're just going to do that normally and give it a couple of tries and see if I'm able to do it, and if not, we're just going to move on. But for now, we are moving through this mission. In order to set up that trick, we now have to actually free Martin. Martin's his name. Thank you, game, for telling me. And that will open a door and allow a character... What am I doing? Allow a character to get rescued as part of this mission, which sets up a cutscene in the next area. We can use that cutscene to break a different cutscene. Is the door gonna... Okay. So yeah. We are now going to save this guy. He actually does all the saving himself, but that sets up his niece being very happy to see us, and we can then use the cutscene of his niece being very happy to break another cutscene. See? We rescued him. Very good. So I'm just gonna fall down here, and then I'm going to spend a little bit of time setting up a trick here called Sample. Okay, so I set up Sample, which skips this cutscene, so he just goes immediately into looking at me like that instead of speaking for 15 seconds. And now it's time for Blind Weepers, and you're going to be confused, and I don't really have time to explain it, and parts of it, again, I do not understand. So we're just going to now try to press the blink button And we got it. And now I am in the next map, but I can't see anything, and I can't move. This seems bad, but if I do this correctly, I can still use my blink. That sounds correct. To go then into the next cutscene. And it did, so we got through that. That is the newest, hardest trick in the game. It's super inconsistent. But yeah, can't believe that worked first try. I've been struggling with that for like 30 minutes right before we started. Holy moly. And that brings us out into the Weeper section. And here we have two homeless people in the sewers that the game wants us to kill because it's about class struggle. They're also sick with a plague and something. Can I clip this roof? Oh yeah, I guess I haven't talked about all the clipping we do. We clip through walls in a bunch of different ways. We can also clip through floors, both up and down now, in the last couple of years of development. So really, nothing can stop us from getting where we want.
I'll take you to the Golden Cat.
The down clipping I also don't understand, but we've been doing it for so long that I don't really question it anymore. I just started saying the things I don't understand at the start of this, and I'm realizing I don't really know a lot about this game for having played it for 2,000 hours. Anyway, we're on to a really cool mission where there are two different configurations of where the characters we need to take out can be. So we have what we call good and bad RNG in this mission. The difference is very small. It's like a couple of seconds of time loss if you get the bad RNG on where these dudes are hanging out. And as soon as I get up here and I save Emily, the little girl from the intro section, as soon as I save her, we will know which one I got. Hopefully, at least. I can get there. Please, game. So, we're going to blink through a wall here. This is called a slip clip. What I do is I lean towards the wall. And then I put my camera inside the wall. And then I can jump through the wall. It's pretty sick, right? We got bad RNG because I looked at some lights over there. And I saw that that's what happened. So I can just throw this grenade while out of bounds. It's going to bounce into that cell and take out one dude. Pretty nice. Then we're going to clip through the roof. Go up here, kill that guy, and then fall down here, get here. For rune, I haven't explained runes. They're basically just your currency for upgrading your equipment or upgrading your abilities, and that will allow me to get out of here to get more range on my blink in this instance. And then I do low frame rates here to let Emily turn around because otherwise she's stuck. And we're really just trying to leave here now. Emily makes it to the boat before me. Haha, she's a better speedrunner than I am. Heard it before. So, wait, do I have enough? I have 8 mana potions. We are so good. Anyway, longest cutscene break of the run. Take it away.
We have $2 from Eris saying exclamation mark quote, exclamation mark bolt. I guess if you type that in chat, something will happen. We have $10 from Nozo saying good luck, lurven. Looking forward to all the new tricks. Putting those $10 towards the Inspector Gadget any percent to no red propeller category upgrade. We have $50 from Sir Skeleton. No message, but they put it toward the Pokemon Soul Silver starter named Scallion. Thank you so much for those donations. And we still have $5 from Battle Dog saying awesome blind segment. Very cool. And they put it toward the Super Mario Galaxy 2 perfect run target, which we're still looking a little bit of money for. At the moment, we're close to, or a little bit over $200 into our $500 incentive. So we're looking for around $300 more to get that met. And that run is coming up fast. It will actually happen 2 runs after this Dishonored run. So please, please do get your donations in so we can see that perfect run in Super Mario Galaxy 2.
Okay, I just finished an intermission. We are going into the bridge mission. This has also had a route change, like kind of recently, where we're going to pick up 3 runes along the way. That is for a trick that is going to happen in the second to last mission of the game. So for now, it's just going to be me picking up runes to get an ability that I'm not going to spoil quite yet, but that has never before been seen in a speedrun before it was found for this one specific trick, because it is a terrible ability for speedy play. But looks pretty cool. Anyway, so that means we have to go into this place. I'm going to shoot this door because you can actually break all of the doors made of wood in this game. Didn't know that until I was told. Then we're going to move on this section. This is a little bit of a climbing section. We gotta take out some whale oil tanks, which are basically batteries. And then we're gonna do that by turning around here and throwing a grenade at that door. And that's going to blow up 2 of those, and then we can just move on to pick up our target for this mission. In this mission, we're not actually trying to kill anyone. We are trying to just kidnap a dude, which is totally a very different job. So we're going to go here and up to Sokolov and pick him up. At the end of this, we're going to do a trick called Samolov, where we then bring Sokolov into a cutscene in a certain way, and then do a quick save and quick load while at a low frame rate, which saves 5 seconds. If you didn't understand any of that, you're fine. Neither did I the first time. So that should work. And yeah, we skipped about 5 seconds on Samuel talking to us. He is now leaning on the air. That's normal. That's just how this game works. We are now going to go into the mission Lady Boyle's Last Party. This is a super sick casual level. Honestly, like, one of my favorite levels of all time in any video game. In the speedrun, though, it has been a bastard for 12 years at this point, because it has a super large RNG roll. You need a 1 1/3 to go your way. So 2/3 of the time you would just lose your run here if you were going for a world record. And so in the last year, the community has allowed the use of a mod that guarantees you good RNG in Lady Boyle's Last Party for the N% category, because just losing your run at this point, like 20 minutes into a 30-minute run because of the game just saying no, is super annoying to deal with. And had this been found 10 years ago or been allowed 10 years ago, this game might have looked real different in terms of optimization. Also, there's a trick I did not talk about that I'm going to do right now. I'm just going to quick save a lot while at low frame rates going into this cutscene, and that's going to skip a boat ride here. It doesn't actually save time in terms of like real RTA because we have the speed up component, but that does save a lot of time if we're talking about like the way we time this for speedruns. Anyway, that puts us at a default position instead of putting us into a cutscene or something. I don't know. Anyway, we're now going to run in here. This is the super sick mission with a lot of characters that you have to deal with and everything. We're just going to shoot this woman, lean through a wall, pick up some potions, and leave. That is the entire mission when you get good RNG, which we, again, are guaranteed. Then I'm going to give this guy a note. This is not necessary to complete the game, but if you don't give that guy the note, then there's a cutscene coming up that is going to be much longer than if you do give him. If you kill him, it's long. If you don't talk to him, it's long. But if you give him the note and don't kill him, it's short. So that's nice. But yeah, it's the guy coming up right here. It's one of the Pendleton brothers. There are 3 of them. I don't remember their names. I guess his first name is Lord.
And now you've done away with a woman,
probably.
a noble woman at that. But Boyle was
yeah, so here he will have an extra voice line if I didn't deliver that note to Lord Shaw.
You've had a long night, Corvo.
But the game just kind of doesn't have a failsafe for this, so the failsafe is just him shutting up quicker.
I'd like to see you now. In Havelock's chambers above the bar.
Here I'm going to clip another roof as soon as I've talked to these guys, which saves like a 1/4 of a second, but it looks cool, so I like going for it anyway.
Ready to face the Lord Regent? About time we took care of my sake.
The mission coming up here is probably my personal favorite in terms of execution, because we have a lot of height to gain, and we have found a lot of optimizations here that just change how you go about this over the last few years. We used to do an elevator, like the ones you saw at the start of the game, where you can just climb corners really high. But we find out it's actually faster to do the start of this glitchless. If you just do a very precise... Oh, that's not very good. But oh, yep. If you do that correctly, then you can just climb up here. That's very nice. Then this mission, we're gonna take out Lord Voldemort, or this game's equivalent, and the way we're gonna do that is we're gonna enter his house and shoot his door. That makes him angry, and so he runs to his safe house on the roof, and his safe house on the roof is actually That name is a misnomer. It is not safe at all. I can just throw a grenade like right there, and that's going to go all the way into a safe house, hit him in the head, and blow him up. Then we go here, and we do a triple blink to get down here. We get a damage cancel because this game likes me today, and then land on Sam's boat. Do a little bit of a frame rate trick. No, actually not going to explain that because I didn't hit it anyway. Now I'm going to go back to a bar, drink a poisoned beer, and then go to sleep and ride a boat for a while. So we got a little bit of time for some donations.
We have $10 from Anonymous with no message, but thank you so much for your donation. And I just want to take the opportunity to quickly remind you guys, please, 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 if you donate money towards Alzheimer's Fund, please put the donation also towards a target, a poll, a reward, or even all three. The money doesn't even get split. The full amount will go to everything that you select, because we're still looking for about these $300 to get the Super Mario Galaxy 2 Perfect Run incentive met, as well as Adventure of Bar Jubilee playing the US version, and Inspector Gadget upgrading the any percent run to a no-red propeller run.
Alright. So, this cutscene used to be super annoying, because there's a trick that I started just now, where if, I don't know if the camera sees this, no, my name is in the way, but like right here, I'm holding F for this entire cutscene, and when the cutscene is moving at 10 times speed, that's not that long. But this used to be 2.5 minutes of holding F to save 1 second. The amount of times I've put like a pen with like a book on top of that in order to just be able to leave during this cutscene, and then it just falls over while I'm gone and I just lose that time, it's not great. Anyway, now we're going to the flooded district. We were just betrayed or something, and everyone is really rude to the guy who fixed all their problems. But when we then met the magical assassin that killed the Empress at the start, he didn't actually take away any of our magical abilities and put us in a tank. So the best way to get out of a tank is to, of course, then clip a wall. And therefore, we're going to just leave immediately, ignore all of his goons, and probably die because I messed that up. Nope. Okay, we're fine. They actually do then take away all of your mana potions at that point. So for this next part, we're not going to be able to blink quite as often because, well, we don't have as much mana. So we're going to clip through that wall. There's water out of bounds here because there's water inbounds, and they were very lazy when they created where that water goes. Let's just go through that swimming section into the end of that area, which that was a boss fight, I guess. That is a classic. I just missed going up here by aiming slightly too low. We're going to die. Nope. Okay. Okay, we are coming up on actually that trick that I set up earlier in the bridge. So we're going to, right after I've finished this map here, we're going to go into the loyalists, and in the loyalists, at the end, we're going to set up and get that ability that I need at the start of the last mission. So basically, at the end of the game, right after the last boat cutscene, the game allows you to kill Samuel, the guy who's been riding the boat with you all day. And the game just allows this as like kind of a cool Easter egg that like you don't need him anymore because it's the last mission, so the game just allows that to happen. But if you then manage to kill him while that cutscene is playing, then that is good enough for the game, and the cutscene just doesn't play. But there is no way to like throw a projectile or anything during the cutscene. So the question then is, how are you going to kill someone while you can't kill them? And the solution to that is one very specific ability in this game that is surely, it just has to be it just has to be very inspired by Skyrim. And that's called Wind Blast, which is, again, for casual play, this ability is super fun. But for a speedrun, it's absolutely useless because it doesn't kill anyone and it just knocks them over. Unless you do it into water. Oh, I did it wrong, so I need to do that again. But we just Wind Blast Samuel here, which is the only projectile in the game that doesn't disappear during cutscenes. And that immediately just knocks him into the water and kills him, skipping this entire cutscene with a boat. It does, however, then put us at the default position right at the start of the level, and so we need to get back to the start of the level, so we had to route some mana around that and get right to the start and then continue up here. This ending mission has gotten so hard in these last couple of years that I'm very unsure if I'm going to be able to do this correctly, but I will try. At least I set up a quick save there, so in worst case scenario, we can just do this twice, I guess. We're going to be doing some out-of-bounds stuff at the end here that might look hard, and that's because it is. And if I fail it, the game creates an autosave that just screws me up. But I didn't fail it, so that's nice. Well, I failed that though. Damn. That means we just kind of shamefully have to be stuck in the floor here for a sec while we wait for that to go over. And time! I forgot to say, but that's time. Sorry, I'm talking so much. Jeez. So yeah, we saved her. You've barely seen her so far, but yeah, she's kind of important to the story, I guess. Yeah, so that's Dishonored. I guess I'm just going to go right over into Honored, which was an incentive that was met earlier today. It is a fan game created a couple of years ago that is super good and is definitely not as broken as this game for sure. So I'm going to just quickly close Dishonored and open Honored and fix one keybind thing with this.
1 second, we go to intermission real quick, and then we'll be back in just a second.